Well, I am so excited to be talking about the subject today about true stories of love after death. And I'll be honest with you, I've got so many stories that I was like, oh, where do I start? And I'm actually decided, or actually I was guided to do this. I'm going to focus on two stories by the same person because this is what I'm guided to do because this is kind of will help us focus on a certain theme that I want to emphasize. Okay, so I will get to the other stories. These stories that I'll be sharing today and in the future are from members of our Supernatural Love Academy. And not to say that there aren't other stories, of people who are in our Soulmates in the Afterlife group, but yeah, our Supernatural Love Academy members are the people that are, in my experience, from what I'm hearing and seeing, are the ones that are having the most profound experiences because they're all in on this journey, and this is what's important, and I don't think can be underestimated. Like, you receive what you put out, right? What you put out, you get back. So if you put in the effort, if you do the work, if you get your beliefs all lined up behind this, what you want, communication through the veil, and even more than that, direct contact through the veil, you can have that. But it doesn't come from just wishing and hoping and even praying, because you live in the physical world. And this means we are here to take physical action. It's not enough just to be internal and just think about it. That'll get you a little bit on the way because thoughts create, but you also have to take the guided action. You also have to take the, I'm hearing like the guided path, right? Like that's the way to live, is to become more intuitive, which means you don't overthink it, which is coming from your logical mind. You're going with what you feel guided to do. And when you do that, the other side starts guiding you more strongly. But if you're just sitting on the guidance you're getting and not taking the action when it feels like it's welling up inside of you, whether it comes really strongly or even very subtly, because spirit communication is quite subtle, but it'll come in the form of, excitement, curiosity, joy, love, all those positive emotions. If you're following that, then the guidance will kick in. So I'm going to share two stories by one of our members, Jan, who's quite eloquent in her sharing of her stories. How she writes is really beautiful, and I'm sharing it not just because her writing is beautiful, which it is, but because she is in touch with her guide, and all of you who are on this journey can also connect with your guides, not just your loved one, but your guides. And in our academy, we're going to go deeper into that, really helping people connect later this month with connecting with their higher self, but also guides, because your guides are trying to help you with this. They help us with everything. So Jan is blessed in that she has a connection with her guide. At the same time, she's still grieving, just like me. I have a strong connection with my guides. And while they help me navigate my grief, they they can only do so much because I still had to do the work. I still had to clear my resentment toward Alan, which I had, clear whatever fears I had about, what this was going to be about, because just because I had this connection with my guides didn't mean that I had all that worked out. So let's get into this, right? And we're going to talk about it. I'm going to read two of the pieces that Jan submitted to me in a certain order. Okay, and we're going to talk about what her got in when this latter case, what her guide pointed out to her. But first, let's start with this. I'm walking in the woods of the derelict estate near me, my steps muffled by the damp leaves on the forest floor, the birds unusually quiet. A gust of wind, the sky darkens, The Irish rain falls, and I duck into a nearby bower, a shelter of reeds and bamboo made over 150 years ago for just this type of occasion. While waiting out the spring shower, I remembered all the times I would sit here and my beloved would ring me, telling me he was thinking of me and wanted to hear my voice. Memories, happy memories, but also triggering sadness. How I wish that phone would ring now. Deciding to calm my mind, I set my intention to slip into a deep meditative state and connect with the angels or guides or my beloved, whoever had something I needed to know right now. Then a voice in my head. It is I. It's my main guide. I know his voice. You are sad. Yes, I say. Very sad you are. Yes. Why is this? Why so sad? I miss him. Yes, but do you not feel him? Do you not feel him with you, around you here? I do, but I do not feel him as much as I should. Ah, as much as you should. And what then is the meaning of this should? Is there a how much to should? Or is it that you want more? Is it that you do not feel him as much as you want? Or is there an amount to should? I don't feel him as much as I want. I want to feel him more. Oh, so then it is the want, the wanting more. The should is an expectation then, to feel perhaps as others do. You think you should feel as they do, but you don't know what they feel. You're imagining what should is, but you are actually wanting. A want is based on what you feel. You are wanting more than you feel from him. Is this so? Yes. What you are wanting is from the human. You want to feel from him as human. You are projecting as a human, wanting as a human, for that is what you are. You are in the human realm. He is not. You are wanting to feel him from what is familiar to you as human. When he is not human, he connects to you as a soul, to your soul, or through you are, for though as you are human, you are within your soul, and your soul is within you. So you must reach to your soul, meet as two souls, not as humans. You remember when you first met, how did you feel? That was your souls connecting. You knew this then. You felt this then, as did he, but he did not, as a human, understand, while you did. Your souls are intertwined, and this has always been such and always will be. This is why you both slept with your legs intertwined, this as a human illustration of your souls woven together. You will feel that which you want as a human when you focus on the soul, for here lies the connection. You know this. This you have felt. When you feel that you want more, shed the human and rest within your soul. His love, your connection, this does not feel to you as it did when he was human on the human plane. His presence does not feel as it did then. It is, in fact, deeper and stronger, but you must go through your soul. Connection through your souls, there is everything, you see. You are doing this now. Can you not see him? He smiles and he welcomes you with open arms. Can you not feel his breath upon you? I'm weeping Love coursing through me. I know my beloved is there. His breath warm, damp on my neck, in my ear. He whispers, take my hand. Walk with me now. Open your eyes. Walk with me. I take his big hand dwarfing my small one, and as we walk amongst the trees, the rain stops, our fingers laced together, intertwined. Okay. So I want you to think on that when you're reaching out to someone through the veil, especially when this is a partner, someone that you've known intimately, and your body remembers their breath on you, their touch, their energy, right? Their physical body. Your fingers remember that. They hold the memory of that. How their hair felt in your fingers, all that. Right? So your body remembers, but now they're not their body. Now they're this consciousness, this energy being. And while in truth, actually, on the other side, we are more physical than we are here. That's a discussion for another time. But they're not in the dense body that they once inhabited. So we have to reach for them with our soul. And this is why we talk about and teach about in the academy the importance of embodying your soul. And while for many of you that might sound like out of reach, like, well, how do I do that? Right? Like I don't even know the first step. First, it starts with you understanding this is who you are. And if this is who you are, which is true, then this is the most natural thing. Once you start leaning into that, once you start understanding that you're more than this body that has its memories kind of encoded in it, you have to step beyond that. You have to be beyond your physical body. And it begins first, but that you accept this, that you get it. Okay. Nothing will expand from that until you believe that truth. I am more than my physical body. I am a soul. Your soul has all of your psychic abilities. Your soul, and some call it your higher self, you can call it that. Your soul, your higher self, is attempting to guide you. It's the one that's actually in charge. It's the one that's going to determine when you exit this life. Although the human ego self could prematurely exit, take physical action, and leave ahead of time, or even resist exiting because it's afraid. Still, the soul ultimately is the one in charge and the one that we should allow to make our choices. Okay, not the physical conscious mind. So I want you to really think on that and let me know what you think about it. Like okay, we have a live chat going on now. You can let me know there, or let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. You are a soul. The way to reunite through the veil is you need to start connecting with that greater part of you. It's not about just becoming psychic. Alan's told me so many times, there are a lot of psychics who, while they demonstrate and have great psychic ability, still question, believe it or not, whether they're a soul. They're not completely sure. They can be carrying a lot of fear, which means they're not fully aligned with their soul. So don't think that psychic power is all that this is about. This journey is about you aligning with your soul because your loved one across the veil, they are fully blended with their soul. Okay. So if you and I aren't, well, how are we going to have a true connection? Yes, we can have a dialogue. We can get messages. That's why mediums can do that. But if you're talking about having a true experience of your loved ones. And I have stories here that, I mean, Alan's saying some of the stories will kind of curl your toes, like, oh my God, they can really experience intimacy through the veil. Yes, absolutely. We're going to get to that another time. I think that is a discussion for a whole other live where we talk about, what we describe as supernatural sex, interdimensional relations, let's say. But today, Spirit said we want to kind of set this up on a solid basis for you. Understand that this is about a soul relationship, not human self to their higher self soul. That is not going to be, I don't know if that's even possible. Like, how can you relate to them from your human ego self when they are a soul? You're going to have to find a way to connect more with the soul that you are. Okay. It starts by understanding that truth. Okay. When you do that, you start to raise your vibration. If you believe that you're only your human ego self, you're going to keep yourself to more closely to the earth realm instead of the fifth, closer veering toward the fifth dimension or fifth density, whatever you want to call it, the fifth realm, the heavenly realm. You can, by the way, go to that realm, not with your body, but with your consciousness. Okay. And there's a way to do that we will be teaching later, but we will be doing that in our academy. I don't do these higher level concept teachings here on, on Facebook, on YouTube, because we need to interact with people and we need to be sure that they understand how to navigate this. Okay. Because I don't want people to, not that you can't get hurt, but we don't want people to take false steps and then get all frustrated and say, oh, I can't do this, right? So I want to be sure that when we're working with people that they have support. This is really important. I can't emphasize that enough. And if you're not going to get support from us on this journey, then find somebody who is teaching what we're teaching, although good luck, because I don't know anybody who's teaching what we're teaching. If you find somebody, please let me know, because I'd like to know what they're doing and meet them. But it's only in our academy that we can really support people, because the worst thing to me is when somebody steps into this and then they have this profound experience and then they don't know how to go further and then they give up. Okay, because that is possible. So I've seen that. People have incredible experiences. Okay, so understand, as Jan kind of demonstrated, as your guide taught her, right? Like, well, you have to connect as your soul and understand that he's a soul. And I know it's tough because your human self, your body, wants what it already knows. Okay, it's going to kind of throw a little tantrum, if you will, like, well, no, I want it the way it was. Well, first step, it isn't going to be the way it was. So you have to make peace with that. You have to make peace with the fact that this is going to be different. Different isn't bad. Different can be extraordinary because you get to connect with your soul, which means you're going to transform and lift out of your fear and limiting beliefs. This is what's required to get closer to them. Okay, but it is a soul journey. All right. So I'm going to read the second story that Jan shared. And she's going to talk about her guides and then her beloved. I've been blessed to have strong contact from my guides and my beloved steward. He has done and continues to do everything he can to prove to me that he is here, that he has never left and never will. He is and always will be the greatest gift I will ever receive. A fear of abandonment runs deep within me from a childhood situation, and I've been told by my guide and my beloved of past lives that contributed to this. In life, Stuart knew this, and it's so important to him that I know he has not left me all alone, that he is minding me and caring for me in all ways. Slowly, the fear is dissipating, but there is much yet to do. The trick, I suppose, is changing perception, changing habits, changing patterns, changing the aspects that have become so ingrained in me that even if detrimental, these are now viewed as, well, that's just how I am, when in reality, it is not. Humans resist change. We all do, some more than others. And instead of simply releasing and shifting, surrendering control, we want a precise map to change, concrete steps to take in order to an ethereal process. And I certainly fall into this. Several days after my guide told me I needed to focus on soul connection, there I was. How do I do that? What steps do I take? What should I do? Where's the map? And it came to me. Simply be. Follow your heart. Meditate. Channel. Write. Listen to the land. Feel the energy from the trees, from the earth. Back off when you need to. Return when you are ready. Each time you come back, you will be closer to your freedom. Simple, but no easy task. But then nothing worth doing is ever easy. Through the tears, the anguish, the grief, and because, most importantly, of the bonds, the woven, intertwined, eternal bonds of love, I am progressing, learning, growing, and indeed changing. I will never give up. I will never leave my beautiful, precious man. I will honor him and his gift to me. He used his free will to trade his life for mine. Something profound is building. I feel it. And at the point, at the right time, I will simply close my eyes and jump. Again, thanks for everything, for all you and Ellen do. All of your classes and groups have been a great help to me, and I know will continue to be. I'm quite isolated, and I have no support, nobody to talk to about Stuart and what happened. I've spent my entire life believing in and having contact with the other side. But when Stuart passed, I crashed and burned. Everything I ever believed in vanished. I lost all faith. And it became so crucially important to find my way back, to connect with Stuart, and to continue our relationship across the veil. We are doing it. We are stronger and deeper every day. We are never apart, and we never will be. There is a finely woven gossamer silver golden cord that connects our hearts, our souls together. Thank you and much love to you. So, let those words sink in, because I promise you that your loved ones may not be as eloquent in their expression, but they feel the same. Okay, they feel the same. They all want to support and help us. Okay, without question. There is only love on the other side. That's it. That's it. There is only love. So if you doubt whether your loved one wants to continue or not, please set that aside. They cannot stop loving you. That's like saying they could cease to be. To exist is to love because you're created from love. So they would have to go against their very nature. They would have to not deny who they are. And they can't. Like I was saying, well, sure, they could for a moment say, okay, I want to not be loved. But he says, you can't do that in the spirit world. And this is why you come here into the physical world to experience what love is not. Okay. And that's a whole other discussion about why the heck would we come into a reality where love is not. But because you can't experience that in the spirit world. So if you can't, be anything but love in the spirit world, what do you think that means when it comes to them wanting to continue with you? Of course they can. And he's laughing. He's saying to me, we have no choice because our heart is always going to feel love. We can't turn it off. Like he says, like I just said, that would be like you saying I cease to exist. You can't not exist. Sorry. I know maybe some of you wish you could just disappear and not exist, but you can't. You're always going to exist. You always have existed. So you might as well get used to it and just accept the fact that your loved ones on the other side continue to love you, want to support you, help you, whatever way is appropriate for you, for what you as a soul have chosen to experience. Okay. That is the deal. They know because they're over there. They know your soul's plan. They do. Okay. And they know that. They know your thoughts while you're here in the body. They know who you are as a soul on the other side because there are no secrets in the universe. Okay. So they know. Of course, they want to help you. Again, if that's appropriate for what you as a soul planned. Okay. So if you planned to experience some struggle, you planned it. Okay. It wasn't like something, you're not a victim here. If you plan to experience some challenge, you're going to experience it. Doesn't mean they can't help you through it, right? Support you through it, guide you, you know, help you raise your spirits, right? Like feel better about it, feel positive. But they're not necessarily going to take that away from you because they would know that, hey, her soul chose to learn through that challenge. So they're just going to help you get through it. They're not going to fix it for you because this is what you came here for. Right? So now in the live chat, do you guys have any questions about that at all? Any questions? I have so many other stories to share here and more that I haven't even printed out, but we will save that for another time. One person's story, we'll probably have to feature like a whole other live around it because there's so many things that happen. But I just want to assure you that you can connect. And if you feel, okay, don't even question whether you're, especially if it's a partner, whether they want to continue. Because this is what I advise people when they're not sure. I say, one way or the other, you pursuing the connection is going to help you grow spiritually. Okay, wherever it may lead you. Indeed, there could be some of you that start off on this path and then realize somewhere along the way, which one of our friends did, she realized that her husband on the other side actually brought somebody to her. And she was like, huh? But she had feelings for this person, much to her surprise, and realized that this was the appropriate next step for her. Okay, for her. It doesn't mean it's for you, but for her. So if and when it might be that that is the next step that your higher self has planned for you, it'll happen. You don't have to worry about any of this. It's take what you feel guided to do now. Here is one thing I can assure you of again. All possibilities exist in each moment in time. You're creating your own dimensional space or reality through the thoughts that you think. Okay, you have Spirit's saying you have every option. You have one reality where you maybe do meet somebody else and have another relationship with your loved one, and Spirit maybe guiding you to that, and because they can do that, they can bring you a new partner if that's what your soul really wants for you. There's another reality where you don't do that, where you continue relationship through the veil, and yes, you're going to have some struggles, and we're prepared to help you with that in our academy. In my estimation, I would say 98% of the people will need support, external support from other people. Ideally, people who are also on the same journey, because this is a tough road, but it can be walked with joy, and incredible experiences await you. But this is not a solo journey. I could never do it myself alone. And I've had 37 years experience. And I don't recommend anybody try this alone if they want to succeed. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And Spirit has told me that. So you got to figure out, what do you want? If you're in this for your spiritual growth, you see that is part of it, right? It's not just about you having communication. If all you want is communication, go ahead, get a mediumship reading. But that's not going to develop your contact. That's only Helen's saying that's only going to develop the medium's ability to. And he's laughing, saying, and a lot of the mediums, they do need practice. Okay. He says, because a lot of them don't know what they're doing. And sadly, that's true. I've worked with too many people recently who've come to me saying, being more confused by the different mediumship readings they got that said different things. So, but that if all you want is a message, go that route. If you want to build your connection, you want ongoing contact, you want to develop yourself spiritually, then you've got to figure a way how to awaken your soul. And that's again where our academy comes in. And there's a link below in the description to our academy if you're ready to join it. Some people who meet us, who are in the academy right now, found us and just jumped in. They didn't even like try to investigate. They didn't even, I don't even think they joined our soulmates group right away. They just said, this is for me. And that was because I'm sure their guide, their guide or their loved one or both were saying, this is the next step. Okay. So you may or may not be there. That's fine. But that's the path, it's that once you get that your loved one is guiding you, and many of these people who joined us could feel it, that means, you're ready for this. Even if you're doubting, like, well, I don't know, maybe he changed his mind. Like Alan's laughing. He goes, they don't change their mind about loving you. They don't change their mind about wanting to support and help you. Why would they ever do that? They know that you're a soul and that you're here for your own awakening to your soul at the most pivotal time that's ever happened on the planet, by the way. So they're all in. If the question is, are you all in? That's the question. And right now, guys, you can join our academy for like $19 a month. That's our workshops cost more than that. In the past, they cost like $100 and something, like a whole month, $19. Like, where are you going to find that? You're not. So you decide what you're going to do. If not with us, then if you want this, figure out where. Mediumship classes could get you started, but they're not designed or taught by somebody like me who has Alan on the other side working with your loved ones who are also learning. Okay, so I'm just talking about the academy because a lot of people don't know that we teach there every week live. Okay, live. Okay, 2 hours. We had to cut back from 3 or 4 hours because it was too much, but 2 hours every week. And we teach, we do hot seat coaching where we go dive deep with somebody and help them process whatever they're stuck in. And we teach on certain subjects, but you really need support. And I think that's the key here. So if you can find support around you, you have people to support you, great. Okay. And if they're on the same journey, that's even better. Okay. But you will hit upon your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, because again, this is a process of soul awakening. And that means you have to release what is not aligned with your soul. This could not just limiting beliefs. Some people discover that they don't fit in with their group of friends anymore. And not just because their loved one passed, but also because if they start opening up spiritually, they realize, wow, these people are not really on my level. They're not, I don't even relate to them anymore, right? And it can be a lonely journey if you're embarking on this, and not only with your grief, but you don't have anybody to talk to about it. So that's why it's easy for people to give up and then fall back asleep to believing that you're just a human in a body. I promise you, if you fall asleep and you begin to just believe that again, you're in for a rough ride because we are living in the time of awakening. Your loved one is probably tapping you on the shoulder right now, your spirit guides too. And if you choose to say, I don't want to know that, you're going to feel the discord of that. And you're going to probably feel very distorted. Um, I've seen that happen with people, and it's very tragic, to be honest with you, because falling back asleep is probably harder than never awakening, because that person got a glimpse of what was possible and then shut it down through fear, doubt, insecurity, what have you. And now they're kind of there's an inner conflict that can brew, because the soul is who you are, and you're going to return to that when you leave this world. But we're urging you to connect with that before you leave this world, so that you can enjoy all the benefits of being not just in this world, but also having a foot in the other world, okay, which very few people can have. But your loved one is extending that invitation to you through the veil, if you have the courage, strength, and persistence to take them up on it. Okay, but that's up to you, and they're not going to force it on you. They may be jumping up and down, giving you signs, trying to get you to, but they can't force you to, and they wouldn't do that. You are a sovereign being who has a soul, who is meant to make your choices freely. Okay, that's what unconditional love is. It's limitless. It's free choice, free will. No one on the other side can make you do what you don't want to do here in this reality. That's true too, except you give your power away to people and you create from your fears. Okay, so we have more stories to share, but I wanted to focus on the whole theme of you being a soul that's here to embody that, and that's the path forward to having true communion and connection through the veil. If all you want is just to be psychic, okay, which won't raise your vibration, by the way, it just won't. I've met too many psychics who, while incredibly gifted psychically, were very distorted on a soul level. They weren't really connected or blended with their soul. Being psychic and being soul awakened are two different things. They're just two completely different things. Okay. My suggestion, the way we teach, is to help you awaken your soul, and therefore your psychic gifts just kind of blossom almost organically, right? Like naturally, according to your soul's timeline, rather than you pushing it, rather than you forcing it. Like because you can forcefully develop psychic ability, and then people become quite distorted, and we don't want that for you. That wasn't my path, and therefore that's not what I teach, obviously, right? I'm going to teach what I experienced. And so from my experience, I went from being an ordinary, truly an ordinary, just a waitress in a restaurant, to a year later being a conscious channeler, who people would come up to me and say I was their teacher, and I started teaching them. So I'm not saying that you're going to become a channeler. Well, maybe I am saying that, because if you join our academy, we are going to teach you how to channel and embody your loved one, because you can do that. You can connect with them, bring through their messages, feel their energy, and in that way they will begin to help you open up more. See how this is different, though, than taking a class where they just teach you how to read auras. I mean, we could do that too, and we probably will at some point, but that in itself isn't going to help you build a bridge to the other side. Okay. So that's the live for us today. It's a little bit shorter than usual, unless you guys have any questions in the live chat but I don't see anybody there saying anything, or anybody asked something earlier. I don't think so. Okay. So yeah, so I'm just going to give, another, plug to our academy, and really I want to shout out appreciation to our academy members who are working hard to connect with their loved ones through the veil. And I know sometimes all of you, it gets lonely, it gets frustrating. I talk about the peaks and valleys to this journey. It truly is that way, because what you're doing is gradually releasing the dominance of your ego human self, your human mind, right? The physical mind, not getting rid of it. We don't get rid of the ego. We love the ego. We need the ego in order to be in this world. You know, you need that part of you to navigate this world. You just don't want your ego human self to be driving the car, the vehicle of your life, okay? Which most people do, and that's why their life is pretty all over the place. Okay. We don't want that for you, and that is not the way to have this relationship. You do need to get your ego under control, like meaning that it's tamed, that it's not jumping up and throwing you into crisis and giving you doubts and fears and endless questions because it doesn't trust what you're doing. If you're trying to connect through the veil, it, in most cases, for most people, it can be quite terrifying to the ego physical mind. And that's why it gives you those doubts. Okay. But you have to know where that comes from. It's not coming from your soul. Think about it. Your soul knows that you cannot be destroyed, that nothing can harm you unless you believe and think that something can harm you, because then you open the door. That's why if you go to the afterlife, which is what I'm going to teach in the academy, how to go to the afterlife, you have to have your emotions under control. You have to tame your fears. And when you do, then literally you can access the other side. Okay. And near death experiencers can tell you that some of them have great fear, and that's why they encountered demons when they went through the tunnel or went through the other side. Not because they're actually demons in the afterlife, because there are not. What they are traveling through is their own field, which contains your belief systems. That's just how it is. Every belief you have is created of certain kind of a dimensional reality in your field. There's a reality in your field. And if you think it long enough, then it takes form. So when you go out of body, or you go even in a dream state, you can encounter the fears that are in your field, and they could come represented as a demon or a monster. It's not anything but you. You encounter you when you go in through your field. All those thought forms are there. Okay, so there's nothing to fear on the other side. But this is why, if you want the highest experience, which is, guys, this is what I want. Okay, this is what Alan promised me, that I'd see him in the physical, that I'd walk along the beach with him hand in hand and all that. And I know now what he was showing me was that I would go out of body to do that. Okay, because you can do that. And so can you do that? Right? But you got to get rid of your fears. And you got to really know that there is no death, and that you are a soul. And therefore, when you really know you're a soul, not just think or believe or hope, but you know to the core of your being, the gates to heaven open up to you. You can go to the other side. And I don't mean in a dream. Okay. I mean having a visceral experience beyond, this is beyond lucid dreaming. This is on a whole next level. Okay. So that is possible. All that's possible. And this is what I've always wanted. Alan's promised me that. And he said, this is the way, what I'm, you know, experience doing, learning, exploring all this. I'm always going to be exploring ways to connect to the spirit world and be sharing that in the academy, and not on YouTube until I really master it, know what I'm talking about. But in the academy, yeah, we are, like I tell our members, okay, guys, you are our the beta group. You know, it's like, because we are working with you one-on-one, and we know we can monitor you. We know that you're going to be safe in this container that we create for you, this hub that we have, the that we've, yeah, haven, if you will, that we've created. And that's where we do all of our supernatural love exploring and journeying, including journeying to the other side. So all that's possible. I know that 37 years ago, when I had a out of body experience that my guides actually gave me. I didn't even know how they did that. I lifted out of my body, and I, you know, went up and out. And they told me, they said, one day you're going to know what that is, to cross over while you're still in a body and experience the other side. So I'm beginning to do that. Look forward to teaching that to everybody in our academy. Until then, until next week, when we share more stories, okay? If you're interested, join the academy. $19 a month. That probably will go up, by the way. So, if you don't want to pay more than that, then you might want to jump in on that right now or wait, because Alan said it's really worth $39, which is what it originally was. So we love all of you. Take care. I see most of the people watching are in our academy. So hi, everybody. Hi, guys. Until next time, take care and know that anything's possible for those who trust and believe and have no set expectations. They're just open. Okay. Because if you do that, the other side will knock itself out to show you something. But you got to believe and have no fear, no doubt, and no set expectation. Just be open. Right. Because love is all there is. Right. Take care till next time. Bye-bye.